Serving Benish, and on two once again. Partain tapes it. George has it, and he spins it away. So a lot of option offense so far for the United States.
Yeah, so coming into this match, the world loves always seeing USA versus Brazil. You know, against George and Andre, the United States, one of my keys to this is controlling their emotions. They just got to hang with this Brazilian team, control their emotions. If you can get them nitpicking at each other, then it's more on the United States side.
Brazil by one. Great set. Benish gloves it, and Partain gets it out. So we mentioned the youth of Miles Partain, his partner Andy Benish. As you look, just a combined 51. Kevin Wong back in 2000 with Rob Heiger, Dane Blanton and Eric Fourneau in the one. They won gold. Rosenthal, Gibb, and Holman and Metzger. So the sun has come out. It's cooler than it has been. It's 87 degrees. They say it feels like 93. Partain, jump set. Benish tapping line. Maybe they're using the option to set up the rest of the day. They're just doing it a little differently than they have.
And that is probably the most confident play we've seen from them in their 3 matches now. Partain sees the block. He sets it out there.
Of course, Partain, an indoor setter. There's an ace, an indoor setter at UCLA. So the option to either spike or set. And Benish, his job is to pass it up on the money. 8-8 here in the first set. A key matchup in Pool D. They'll try Andre this time. George into the net. A little bit erratic. Cut into the net. He had a tap into the net. He hit one out. The Americans lead 9-8.
And it really is the American service pressure, though, that's causing a lot of the frustrations on the Brazilian side right now. Benish hitting a really solid jump float.
And did they call a football?
No, they called a challenge of the football. And it, you know, now in third match of pool play, these teams are starting to get a little bit more of the groove and understand, and they're seeing how other teams. So one of the things that they have to learn is that if you want to challenge the football, you can't wait till the end of the play. You've got to challenge it right in the middle.
And they did. And so, indeed, the challenge is in progress. If you followed volleyball, I'm sorry to tell you this again. 2 challenges per team, per set. If you win your challenge, you get to keep it. Wish the NBA would adopt that.
And here's the dangerous part, right, is the Americans kicked sand into the line. It looked like it was a football. All of a sudden you challenge and you lose a point. It's a double-edged sword.
So the challenge unsuccessful. And Benish will serve again. Over to George. Gets a high spinny set and gets a break as he bangs it off the tape.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you should never, ever challenge someone on the football, right? Because you're in control. There's no reason, unless there's a ball that's shanking out of bounds and you see a football. I don't think you want to take that chance of losing the point on a missed challenge.
I would agree with you on that, Kevin. Jump set. Benish down the line, and there's a little trouble. Everybody now is trying to copy the Swedes and how they do it. These unbelievable jump setters. Supposed to look like a spike. And if the defender jumps, Kevin, you ram this home unopposed. USA didn't use that much in their first 2 matches, but they're off to an option start. George. And George guides it down the line. So the early action is good. The United States leading Brazil first set, 11-10.
If someone is in trouble, you do whatever you gotta do to help them. It's a hard job for anyone.
Chicago Med, Fire, and PD. New September 25th on NBC and Peacock.
Pests can be a homeowner's worst nightmare. Not only do pests do damage to property, but they also can be a threat to you and your family. A quarterly pest control maintenance plan will protect yourself, your family, and your biggest investment, your home. We at Best know the importance of taking action as soon as we notice any signs of pest infestation. and we have trained professionals ready to tackle the job. Our WOW service is unlike any around. So call us today for your free estimate. And remember, got pest? Call Best.
We're all searching every day for more memories, more understanding, adventure, and time. We're seeking more around the clock in the good times and bad. And sometimes we can't get more on our own. That's why WNBF News is always seeking, pushing for more answers and more facts. So when you watch WNBF News, you come away with more.
United States and Brazil. Greatest rivalries in beach volleyball. So far, the Americans looking rather solid. Miles Partain, the 22-year-old, his partner Andy Benesch, going against Andre, who's 29, and George, 27. The Brazilians getting together in 2019. They wanted partners that wanted to go on and play internationally and try to get to the Olympics, and here they are in their first Olympic Games. Now Andre's going to get a high set, and he taps it down the line.
You talked about Andre. Half of the team of the year back in 2017 played with Ivandro. They were the tour champions. They were the world champions. Half of the tournaments they played in, they finished in the semifinals. They had 2 wins, 3 seconds, and a 4th.
Brazil in blue, United States in white. Benesch passing well so far, although that one pretty high. And then Miles Partain coming in as a lefty with a big advantage. All right, time to welcome in the 4th member of our broadcast team. More on the Americans, Dane Blanton.
Hey, Chris, you know, every time before the match starts, I go up, I talk to the coaches. Mike Playcheck was not up there, and what I'm hearing from my sources that there was a team meeting and a team decision to move forward without their head coach. What that means possibly is Paul Lottman may move into that head coaching spot, but we do not want to speculate on the details. We will get those answers after the match from the players themselves.
Well, that would be challenging for sure, but well, we'll try to get some more information on that if true, if accurate, all that good stuff. So the Americans
And the important thing is that they're playing really high-level ball right now, right?
13-12 is our score, and there's a challenge. Okay, that was from the assistant coach. And the official review here. Take a look. That's about as tight as it gets.
I'm trying to think, in all the years that we've covered the Olympic beach volleyball event, I don't know if there's ever been a coaching change anywhere within the competition itself. That'd be a first.
Well, a crucial match for both these teams. Partain with a scoop, Joust coming. And the ball goes to the Brazilians for a point.
Watching the game, I can feel the breeze up here where we're sitting. I wonder if it's swirling a little bit and if Brazil might be on the better side right now.
13-13 in the first set. Off the tape, Partain going on 2. An interesting note, Benesch and Partain are seeded 9th in the tournament. When Dane Blanton and Eric Fenoy Moana won in Sydney, they were seeded 9th. Maybe a harbinger of things to come. Little karma never hurts. Benesch, good serve. He rips the ace. His third.
So with that serve, you know, I've been seeing Benesch back at the service line. He starts his toss as if he's going to do a top spin jump serve. And especially the side they're going to now, he ends up hitting it like a flip serve. So if I'm the Brazilian, I'm setting up for that hard top spin serve, and then all of a sudden it's coming as a float serve. It's very hard to pick up.
Benesch again. George, 35 feet backwards. Coming up, and Benesch jams. Oh! And Brazil makes a play. On one. Benish! Yes! Andy Benish playing superb volleyball. The Americans lead by 3.
You know, the first time that we're actually seeing a flag that's standing up nearly perpendicular, right? Winds are starting to pick up, and like Misty said, it is hard in the face of Team USA. So I like this timeout from Brazil. They get to slow things down a little bit. Pray to the wind gods. Hope the wind dies just a little bit before the next serve.
And with our help from Doug Strauss, he's letting us know that on the right side where the United States is now, the teams have been earning 20 points as opposed to the left side where Brazil is now 11 points.
Ideally, you'd like to have the wind in your face so you can serve it harder, spike it harder, and you like to have the sun at your back so it's not in your face.
And that's why I like Andy Benish. He got a point on the bad side with that hard topspin serve, and instead of going back to that what looked to be a topspin serve on the good side and taking it to a float, he nailed that topspin serve right back into the wind. It's a hard ball to pass because if it catches the wind correctly, that ball just dies.
The teams will switch sides on multiples of 7 to adjust for wind and sun, rain if possible. And now Andy Benish will have it. We mentioned he played a little bit in Switzerland, had back issues, got to hate indoors by the end. He hated it, came out on the beach, likes this, and he is serving hard. Now George on the left takes a look, off speed. Usually when you see a player, Misty, dip his head, a shot is coming.
Especially the speed that George came in on that one, he was going in to shoot the whole time. The ball was off the net. Once he dips down, great play by Andy Benish to recognize he didn't have a hit and to take that drop.
George is wearing the black hat. Andre is on the right, and that serve out of bounds. So good serving run for Benish.
You know, the game is constantly evolving, right? And hand setting has become such a big thing. And you see the Brazilians, and they're kind of a throwback, right? A lot of bump setting. These balls are getting pulled off the net. You lose a lot of accuracy, really hurting their offense right now.
First set, United States on top by 3. Trying to get off to a good start in the match. Miles Partain rips another one. What do you like about Partain's game?
Decision making. I think he's got such a great range of skills. This is the kind of approach that you can have only if you've been setting indoor for 8, 9, 10 years, right? He can set and hit and make it look the same on both contacts.
18-14, United States. Over to George. Off speed, right to Partain. Benish, no, he missed it. Cost USA a point there. So make it 18-15. George. Jump set. Partain. Got it.
And that's the amazing one, because Partain was a center, and Benish was a middle blocker. Middle blockers are not supposed to do what he just did on that last play.
In fact, a lot of times indoor, we're praying when the ball goes up, middle, just make a clean set.
These two teamed up in late 2022-23. And now here they are. Andre. And Andre is root. They'll make it 20-15. The Americans looking nothing like they did in the first 2 sets. This is new good stuff from this team. Brazilian fans a little bit worried about their team. American fans feeling good. Benish on the first set point. Andre takes a look right to Partain for the win. Nope, he hit it out. So Brazil is going to get a serve. It will still be set point for the United States. The second one coming up right here.
And remember, Benish took advantage of being on the good side. Now they've switched side and Brazil is on the good side. If Andre can get this serve going, could create some nervous opportunities here for the USA.
And the wind has picked up as Andre sets to serve. Third set point. United States trying to close it out. Jump set, Benish tapping, and that's going to be it. Second set goes, first set goes to the United States. It was a long one, 21-17. So Andy Benish dominating in the backcourt. Miles Partain doing his thing.
Katie, ready to take on the world? Gotta do more. Make more than a splash. Do more than just a medal. Prove you're more than a prodigy. Don't just wear the flag on your chest. Put the entire country on your back. You're destined for more. Your biggest moment ever will take more than ever.
I love my kids, but I also love not being broke. So this back-to-school season, I'm just gonna spend less on them. Amazon has low prices on everything kids need, like sports stuff, for a sport that they'll hate in 2 weeks.
I'm running to fight for an America where the economy works for working people, where you only have to work one job to pay the bills, and where hard work is rewarded, where reproductive rights are not just protected by the Constitution of the United States, but guaranteed in every state. Because that's our America. And that's the America I believe in.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
My competition is fierce. The sweat, the grit, the oil.
Meet new Olay cleansing melts. This changes the game. Just soak, activate, wash. With silky micro bubbles that go deep. For 3 times better clean that cleans, tones, refreshes daily.
For my best skin, when it really counts.
New Olay cleansing melts. The official facial cleanser of Team USA.
Competing for gold, we have legendary Reese's Peanut Butter Cups versus newcomer Reese's Medals. Who will be the winner? I'm sorry, what are they competing in?
United States, off a nice play, has tied it up 1-1 here in the second set, just the start. United States utilizing a little bit of short serving strategy. Down the line, got it. Now a curveball by George. He really struggled. Brazil had 5 hitting errors in that first set.
And you know, looking at this Brazilian team, for them to get back into this match and to stay ahead, they have to make Partain move a little more on defense, just like that last shot.
2-1, Brazil with the early lead. And Partain's going to hit again. George, and George puts it away.
Typically, when you're going with the option offense, you want to be somewhere 8 feet and closer to the net. And on some of these plays, Partain looked like he was like twice that, 15, 16 feet off.
And those would be difficult spikes for anybody in the world.
Right.
3-1 Brazil, jumps out. And Benish with the bad pass. So Brazil with a great start. And they are trying to rev up the crowd some more.
And that's one of the issues. If you have a partner that likes to go over on 2 a lot, like Partain's been, I feel like forcing it a little more. Now it puts the pressure on the passer. The passer is saying, do I have to force it up to the net? Do I have to make a good pass? Are they going to set me?
Good serving by Brazil. Now another option play, and Partain into the net. Yikes.
Brazilians work with sports psychologist Aileen Wolf, and one of the things that she has them do is do a lot of journaling, right? So they go into stressful situations, they go back and they say, what did we feel? What did we react to? What could we have done a little bit differently?
So a timeout called by the USA.
And the first timeout's called by USA head coach of beach volleyball. Our beach volleyball continues in picture don't go anywhere.
We would love to have Riley on the team. Amazing.
Yeah.
In a couple of days, thousands of athletes will arrive in Paris for the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
We believe no journey is taken alone. Toyota. Start your impossible.
We about to level up.
Yes!
The next icon of vacations, Star of the Seas. Book today.
Andy Benish with 9 kills and 1 error. That's great hitting numbers. Now here comes Andre, and Andre lets it loose.
Andre woke up right between the first and second set, and I'll tell you right now is the time, if I'm America, I'm going to start going at his partner George, who's been much less effective here in the Olympic Games.
6-2 Brazil. And George.
And you know what's funny? I feel like this is the MO for all Brazilian teams. Sometimes they come out that first set and they just kind of test the waters, feel it out, come out slow. You think you have them, you're like, this match is going to be over. Second set, they turn it around. They bring a whole new game.
Now Miles Partain, the lefty with the serve. Andre off the net, and it's off Benish, out of bounds. Of course, you might remember in 2016 in Rio, Alisson and Bruno winning the gold medal on home turf. That was a big moment for the country there. Remember, Alisson midway through the tournament sprains his ankle badly. Looks like he might not be able to continue in the competition, and then plays the best volleyball of his career. And that should be United States ball. Andre going to the line here. Let's see if they challenge.
They both touched the ball. The question is who touched it last. And as this replay technology and the cameras get better and better, it's really making me rethink some of the plays that happened throughout my career. We saw a wipe shot on a joust yesterday that had a different ruling than has been historically called in the sport of beach volleyball.
The challenge is a block touch. It appeared that Andre guided it out of bounds, but we will wait and see. Andre at 6'7", Partain at 6'3" with good hops. Our up official is from Greece, Charalampos Papadopoulos, and he is a good one.
I think I'm impressed how Partain was able to even time the ball correctly. That pass went up so high.
Crowd waiting, no replay yet, no indication.
Kind of see the uncertainty on everyone's face, right? Like most calls, everyone kind of knows what the call is going to be. This is one of those calls.
Well, the Americans are back to serve. Let's see. Oh, that's hard to tell.
And this is what they're doing. This is the change. That would have always been Brazil pushing it off the Americans' Brazil ball. But because he pushes it and then lingers, he lingers on for that microsecond, it's U.S. point.
I have told you that for 5 Olympics now. Lingering is not good. 7-4, United States trying to catch up. George taps. And Benish nearly had it up. couldn't control it.
What a set by Andre on that, though. Coming from that left corner, George smart to give the setter a huge window and hang back a little bit to be able to make that shot over Benish.
Brazil beat Morocco 2-0. Lost to Cuba, the surprise team in the tournament so far, 21-13, 21-18. Now Partain, pretty good set. Partain hits it straight down. Partain hits the big blast.
Talked about his young success. He was the youngest player ever to qualify for the AVP Tour. And if you look all-time domestic winners, he's number 5 behind Karch, St. John, Randy, and Hovland.
Partain will serve it. That's a good little floaty there. And right to Benish, who slam dunks. I'm impressed.
Players are used to receiving flat, hard serves 90% of the time. You throw one in nice and soft, and it may look like an easy serve, and players have difficulty with it.
Partain serving. Americans on the comeback trail.
On beach volleyball game continues. It should
Wild West.
Anywhere.
Bad guys only want one thing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hand over the customer data and nobody gets hurt.
I'll do anything to get it. Even daytime robbery.
The purchase history, financial records, chat transcripts.
Please, not my Q3 sales forecast.
Put it in the bag.
By the time people wake up to what's happening, well, that train has left the station.
Let's get out of here, come on.
That is.
Yes.
Glad you never let them on board in the first place. Don't get robbed by bad guy AI. Salesforce AI never steals or shares your customer data.
Hey, Mrs. Miller. So to show their appreciation, Target is giving teachers 20% off store-wide with Target Circle. And to show mine, I'll grade my own homework. So you can just relax. A++++++.
Second set, United States and Brazil. Brazil has the lead, but the United States won the first set, and Andre gets a block. So Andre, who is known for his blocking prowess, did they not give him a block on this? I don't think so. They're saying Benish hit the ball into the net, and he did on second look. 11-7. First two sets, to 21, win by 2. And the spin serve, boy, that is a degree of difficulty, a 10. That serve right there.
And it didn't have to be, right? Because the reality is that Benish is struggling a little bit, and that's something where you got to feel the vibe, and you got to feel the flow, and understand when you got to go for it and when you can keep it in.
Talk about good side, bad side. Brazil on the good side right now. Wind in the face, got an open net, and Andre puts it away. So all teams utilizing the option. You have to have passers and setters. And Brazil, you catch it, you kind of mentioned it, they're kind of old school. They don't do it a lot, but when they do, it's very effective. Brazil by 4. And that serve out of bounds. A 3-point lead for the Brazilians, who have fought back nicely after losing the first set. Let's go down to Dave Blanton.
Well, Miles Partain likes to do it his own way. He loves skateboarding. He's actually done it since he was a kid. He tells me that he hates to walk around. I used to see him at tournaments with a little penny board, but now he has this thing right here that folds in half so he can travel a lot better with it. He's saying he is having a blast in the village, buzzing around on that board. You guys, if I can figure it out, I think I should get all of us one of them.
Well, Dane, I've got one suggestion. Don't fall.
Right, that's exactly what I thought about, right?
Yeah.
You're one fall away from...
yeah, going home.
Yeah. And we've talked about this team being the youngest team by a long shot, right? It's 8 years younger than prior Olympic teams, and because of it, they bring innovation. Because of it, they bring this spunk and feistiness, but there's also some downsides in decision-making and maybe some wisdom along the way as well.
United States playing catch-up now. George, and George thumps it. George, born in Pau Pessoa, Brazil. As we mentioned, the reserve team for Tokyo. They did not go. Nobody went. We did. But fans not allowed to come. And what a difference 3 years makes. Nice up. George, it's tight. And trying to wipe it off Benish, and Benish smartly out of his hands.
That was super smart. Sometimes you'll see that indoor play, and you'll see it on the beach too, where the blocker will pull their hands away. He pulled his whole body away. He was so smart seeing this ball coming over and just ducked. What body control.
Miles Partain will serve it. Off speed, Partain can't get there.
You know, this Brazilian team was not super successful out of the gates. 3 years of kind of mediocre results by both of their standards, but what kept them together was the fact that they're such good friends. And Andre's wife, Vittoria, explained, volleyball gave us something else. It's bigger than results, bigger than titles. It gave us a family, friends, and people that we love.
Benish. Doug. Spinner. George. Got it. Well, Brazil has found a rhythm here. How about George? Nice placement.
Right, and how about their ability to turn what was a really ugly first set, regroup over the break, and come out with so much more confidence?
Brazil on the bad side now, only 25 points scored. On the American side, 38 points.
Too far.
Partain way far away from the net. And he hits that out of bounds. Just a challenging swing for Partain.
All gas, no brakes. Sometimes it's good to have some brakes and some airbags and all the accoutrements.
Like I said, Brazil is an emotional team, right? United States took them out, controlling the first set. Now they're riling up the crowd. Brazil lives off their emotions.
Wow. Partain takes another swing. I can't believe this. Those are just not good decisions from Miles Partain. That's a 10%.
Right, and if you're Andy Benish, you kind of look over and there's an encouraging side, but there's also a side that says, send me the ball.
What's the encouraging side?
He's staying aggressive, I guess.
Well, you just can't do that. You can't do that. You're in the Olympics. Gonna try it again. He's not convinced. And he gets the kill.
He got it through that time, but if I was Benish, and I'm sure Carrie would have done the same thing to me, Holly would have done the same thing to me, they start to lose confidence. Why aren't you sending me? You know, you start to question, why am I not getting the ball back?
The United States has fallen off in the second set. Brazil has ramped it up. They lead by 6. Gonna have to be quite the rally here. Now Andre coming in, and Andre knocks it through.
So going back to the United States offensive game, they were very solid in the first set. Right now, Partain has kills in 7 errors. Benish has 10 kills and 2 errors. Who would I be going to?
Let's see how Brazil plays it. They're going to serve Benish. Now, will Partain go on 2? No, they serve Partain. Benish is at the net, and that works. And a point.
If I'm Partain, I am giving the ball back to Benish as much as possible, especially with his high kill percentage.
A hot, muggy day here in Paris, France. Off speed, got it. George.
So crafty. His family's got a beach court in his backyard, and during COVID, all the pros from all over Brazil were moving to the town to get some reps in when everything else was shut down.
19-12. That serve out of bounds.
Yes.
And Brazil going to challenge. They are.
You know, and with this wind, if the U.S. can steal a couple of points on the bad side, if they can get a couple of points and head over to the good side 16-19, they're in range, right? They can get a couple aces, they can get a couple blocks, but gotta grab some points here on the bad side first.
And that ball looks out. Let's give it the official call here. Unsuccessful challenge. Well, the Americans are going to need to stage a big rally here. Set 2. If Brazil wins it, we go to a third and final set. And Benish is into the net. So the first set point for Brazil.
If Brazil gets another set point like this, they're going
Benish,
to
the
the
jump
final
set
set.
is
Remember,
low,
it is
and
still
the cuff
anybody's
down the line
game.
is effective.
Yes.
If anything, get a little momentum, get a little confidence somehow here before the end of the set. Now Miles Partain, see if he can crank one up here. George for the win. Got it. Off the head of Benish, out of bounds. So the first set went to the United States 21-17, but Brazil on the comeback trail. They win 21-14. Third final set is coming up.
Hot or cold spots throughout your home? We offer attic and crawl space insulation, attic air sealing, and spray foam insulation. Make your home comfortable again. Call Carolina Energy Conservation today.
Some things are just too big to ignore. Like, way too big. So let's talk about the palmetto tree in the room. I mean, let's talk about Palmetto Cash 5. Because the game has changed. With nightly draws, built-in multipliers, and a new rolling jackpot that just keeps growing and growing. Palmetto Cash 5 prizes can be bigger than ever. So what are you waiting for? You can't ignore a game this big any longer. Get your tickets and play today.
Hurricane season in the Grand Strand has its challenges, and it can be overwhelming if you've never experienced a storm. That's why the WMBF First Alert Weather Team is working around the clock to help you prepare with the WMBF First Alert Hurricane Center. Know the new evacuation zones, helpful tips, and information you'll need before, during, and after a storm. Get prepared for hurricane season with the WMBF First Alert Weather Team.
Ace serve for Miles Partain. Kevin, you want to talk about the start of sets in these particular matches.
And even more so in this one because they're starting on the bad side. You start on the bad side and get 2 points right away, you're in a really good position.
Now Partain has gone to the floater over to Andre. Andre off the head. Partain goes and gets it. Benish lost his hat. It's on the Brazilian side in the runway. And cross court. Andre doesn't care. He jumped over the hat.
And I'll tell you, before If I was Andy Benish and I was getting ready to start the third set, I would walk about 8 feet off the net. I'd draw a line across the sand, and I'd tell my partner, anything outside here, you set me the ball. Anything inside, do what you want.
Andre serving into the net, so the United States goes up 3-1.
Yes.
Serving error cost you a point. Third and final set, you only go to 15. Fast break volleyball here. Andy Benish. The floater is a good one. And into the net. So the spinning serves don't seem to be working so good against Brazil, but the floaters optimal.
And what the both U.S. players are doing right now is they're taking advantage of that middle to middle. The second serve by Partain floated a little more towards Andre, which was okay. They sided out. But both players right now, I think, are keying in on that middle to middle serve against Brazil.
And Brazil calls the early timeout, and I like it. And this is a dangerous time. Take a look at the flags flapping around. The Americans are going towards that side. They're going to the good side. This is a really big opportunity for them.
If I'm the Americans, I don't want to get too giddy, but I'm jumping for joy. I scored 4 points. I scored 4 points on the bad side.
And you know what was different? Set 1, the first over on 2, Partain hit it in the net. Set 2, he hit the first one. This time, set 3, he hit the first one and got a point in. So, a little bit of a difference. I don't want to say it's an indicator, but it's looking good.
Let's review the numbers. Partain has 10 kills, but he also has 7 errors. Wow. Kevin, your guy, Andy Benish, 11 kills and 2 errors.
Misty's guys got to pick it up a little bit, huh?
I think as setters, you know, we want to be in the mix too, right? Especially indoor. I know we're out on the beach, but come on, we want to be part of that mix.
Yes.
Put your guy up, Misty.
Pool D, Cuba is 3-0. Brazil and the United States are each 1-1. A win would guarantee second in the group and a spot in the round of 16. Loser would have to fight off with the third place teams. Floater over to George. And George off speed. Block! Andy Benish, just like he used to do when he was a USC Trojan out in SoCal. His third.
This is the best I've seen him play all year long. He's serving tough, he's hitting well, he's setting, and he's blocking.
Benish. Now George off speed, and Partain can't quite get there. There is Pool D. The Cubans coming in, getting 2 huge wins over Brazil and the United States, and then beating up on Morocco. Cuba's a threat. They're a medal threat now.
And this is a big match, right? This gets you probably one less match to get to the gold medal match.
Jump set. Benish down the line. George was there. Long run. Up 60 feet. And a free ball for the United States. Partain on 2.
Yes.
So it was a good opportunity. He had Brazil scrambling around.
And I love that pass, right, from Benish. He puts him all the way on the far pin. He starts working his way towards the left pin. Brazilian coach not happy.
Now 22-year-old Miles Partain to serve it. The United States with a 6-2 lead. George. And George belts it down the line. George Wanderley, 27 years old. Married to Andressa. Kevin mentioned avid gamer. Play a lot of strategic games to improve the mind. Maybe we need to look into that.
Especially you.
6-3. Partain, chopping, got a touch. A key play.
And remember, Partain's not your average volleyball player. Class valedictorian, graduated early from high school, graduated early from UCLA. His bachelor's degree in applied math. So it's not the brain power going on, it's just some of the decision making along the way.
He's been told he has a demeanor much like Karch Karaid. He takes that as a compliment. Now Benish and the Americans back on the bad side. Here comes George. Popped up, big play here. Miles Partain dribbles it down the line.
Yes.
So the youngster from Pacific Palisades, California, one of the hotbeds of American beach volleyball, gives the United States an 8-3 lead here in the third set.
And I like they're starting to put pressure on George from Brazil right now. They were going after Andre a lot earlier on the match. Now they're on George.
Both serves seem to be working a little bit. Now George, tough set there, and Benish can't get there. And the Americans questioning the contact, I believe, on the Andre set.
Not challengeable. I'll tell you, if this U.S. team can get on a little bit of a roll, they have beaten everyone in the world. They've got wins over Norway. They got wins over Qatari, Germany, Italy. Just got to get that confidence going.
8-4, the Americans lead. Brazil serving into the win. Partain blocked. And the Americans are going to challenge for a net. Partain was right on this. So we wait. Was there a net on Andre?
And this is what's hard. They're forcing that over onto a little bit too much on this side that they're on. That pass gets so high, the wind's going to carry it further to the net, which it did on that play. That's a hard ball for Partain coming from behind to try to get to.
You know, it would have been interesting to see how the Swedes would have played that. Would have done a corkscrew sideways set and get Helvig to hit it straight down? Could he have done that, paddle it out to the outside?
They probably run a one-legged slide.
Maybe.
Behind.
So was there a net? You're not allowed to touch the net at any time during play. Once the ball goes down, you know, you can be a big fish and go right into the net, no problem.
And whether there's a net or not, this has effectively iced the game for a little bit, right? So
here we go.
The ball pushed the net into the player. So I think it's going to be a net, but I think it's an inadvertent net. No fault.
All right, there you have it. So make the score 8-5. America's trying to hang on until they get back over to the good side. Partain, is open back.
And that helps being a setter indoor. You have to have that third eye to look at that blocker on the other side. And Partain coming from indoor, he has that third eye on the beach, so he can tell. But that was a great pass that led Partain in the right direction by Benish.
9-5 United States. Over to George. Another spinning set.
Yes.
So Andy Benish with 4 blocks. And the side change, the Americans going to the good side. That means wind is in their face. They can serve it harder. They can hit it harder. And it just might stay in.
Not gonna lie, I would love to see Partain just go up and rip a left-handed jump serve and get that arm around it. I don't think he's gonna do it, but I'd love to see him rip a topspin jump serve.
Or just get it in. 10-5 tight. Benish is there, and he blocks another one. Andy Benish is patrolling in the net. 5 blocks.
Said he was a late bloomer. Freshman year, he was on the basketball team. He was the point guard. Grew 3 inches. Sophomore year, became a forward, and 3 more inches, he was the center by the junior year.
USC and UCLA teaming up here in the Olympics. Partain with the serve, and that was So this is an interesting time in the match. United States in command. They're on the good side, but they've got to make progress. As you like to say, Misty, score some points. Move it along. Now, what can Brazil do? Well, I'll tell you, Andre's going to crank one up. Ooh. And that's going to be a lift called on Miles Partain.
And he's looking for a towel, because what happens is there's sweat that comes on the ball, there's spin that goes as well.
You know, previous Olympics, we have seen, I believe, towels on the nets that you could just briefly address that situation.
And what Partain's saying is actually, that Andre is putting more liquid on the ball as he's spinning it around before the serve.
Going to the slicker or the spitter.
The secret trick.
Let's watch.
Go to the sweaty uniform.
11-7. Andre again. Can he get it in? Yes. Partain on 2. And he's
still about 14, 15 feet off. And I'll tell you why I don't mind this one. The mental thought about maybe doubling another ball adds some risk. I think the hit is good on that way.
A character test for both teams here, the United States and Brazil. In Pool D, Andre, cross court, rocket.
Here's the real character test as they switch sides, 12A, right? All of a sudden the wind in Brazil's face, gusting, and it's facing right towards the angle that makes serving Benish the most advantageous.
And Benish on the pass has to know they've got to talk about this just to bring the pass down a little bit. You know, not a high ball, not a high pass where the wing can shift it to the net, but just bring your pass down just a little bit.
Keep in mind, Brazil used its timeout early. The United States still has one. Are they going to take it right now?
I feel like they're still like looking for a towel or something like that, right? A couple of towels, and I'd be wiping my forearms if I was Andy Benish because I don't want to put any...
Just a water break, we're told. No timeout, but a chance to towel off for sure.
Well, they called a medical over too, it looks like. They're getting some help from personnel.
The guy in the red coat is the medical.
He seems to be dabbing at his nose, but I'm not sure.
We saw this with Jonathan Helbig when he got faced in one of the matches and it ripped a divot out of his nose. You have to be courageous
as a
play beach volleyball.
As a former middle blocker, Missy, what you said about bringing the pass down, it's not easy to do for a former middle blocker. I don't know if Benish can do that. So I think you're going to really have the decision. High spinny pass, is Partain going to set it or he's going to hit it?
12-8 United States. Brazil in the net. Wow. One of the 7 sins of serving. Jeff Simon would have a big smile on his face. As Brazil, costly error there on the side change. Now the Americans 2 points away. George bounces it out of bounds. Point United States.
That middle serve, they gave it to George again. In that middle, he had to go behind. I don't know if that's the most comfortable position for him.
First match point for the USA. Trying to close out Brazil. And they do!
Yes, you won!